Hi everyone, I am Florian Lesser, and today I'm speaking with Daniel Jiménez Fernández about how you can reduce energy consumption in a lab facility. So to start with, Daniel, would you like to say a few words about yourself and what you do?
Of course, hi, Florian. My name is Daniel. I am working as a subject matter expert in Future Lab and digital transformation. I have been working as project manager for 3 years with several clients in life science and healthcare, and I have been helping them to build a culture of sustainability, digitalization, and lab automation, but also rethinking their ways of working.
Okay, thanks. Very nice. Why does a lab use a lot of energy?
That's a good question. Generally, when we talk about a research lab, one immediately thinks about a big equipment, right? But yeah, it is the sum of multiple factors, the reason why a lab consumes so much energy. Beside the research equipment, we also have to consider other aspects such as lighting, safety, refrigeration, heating, or ventilation, for example.
Okay, yeah, very different and diverse areas, I would say, that people sometimes forgot about. For you, what are the most energy-intensive processes or pieces of equipment in a lab? And if you can share an example.
Yeah, of course. I would say that maintaining precise temperature and humidity control in laboratories requires extensive energy, especially when it comes to facilities that operate 24/7. A big part of the energy consumed in a lab comes from heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems. But when it comes to pieces of equipment, some examples would be, for example, big refrigerators, fume hoods, autoclaves, and incubators, but also high performance computers and servers that can be used for data analysis and storage can also consume a significant amount of electricity.
How do we know whether a specific lab equipment is using a lot of energy, and how can you measure it in the lab?
So to answer this question, we first need to know the current energy consumption levels of a specific laboratory or facility. And to do that, we need to assess baseline usage to identify areas for improvement. And actually, one alternative would be the use of smart plugs to monitor this lab equipment usage. So yeah, in addition, we can also make use of other type of meters, not directly related to energy consumption, but instead they can be used to monitor, for example, the usage pattern of the lab equipment that moves during operations. So in this case, I am talking about shakers, for example, that can benefit from this system. And yeah, additionally, other meters can be used to calculate energy consumption in specific working areas within a lab, which is also something important to consider.
Yes. What is your recommendation to reduce the energy consumption in a lab facility? And if you have any good example of effective ways to reduce energy consumption?
Sure. Actually, once we identify high energy consuming equipment or processes, the next step will be to explore options that achieve the same results with less energy. And yeah, I can give you some examples regarding lab equipment. So first one, for example, a common option here is to consider investing in newer and more efficient technology. Another important point to consider is regular maintenance that can prevent energy waste due to inefficiencies. Another one would be implementing policies for shutting down or hibernating equipment when not in use. And a last one, for example, could be to reduce energy by centralizing resources to minimize redundant equipment.
How often would you recommend people to check equipment?
So that depends also on the equipment itself. Some of them they require like more recurrent maintenance. So I would say maybe once a month, especially those that are heavily used. But there are some other equipment that if you check once a year would be enough. Also because the maintenance is more complex. So yeah,
Yes.
I would say that depending on the equipment, you have to follow one routine or another.
Sure. And we know sometimes people forgot to check and maintain their equipment, and it's very important.
Indeed. Sometimes they regret it because they realize too late.
Yeah. What is an easy action you can do to reduce the energy waste in a lab, but that usually people forgot about? An easy one, if you have an example.
Yes, actually, it is very important to establish a culture of energy awareness in the lab and creating training programs to educate staff and students on how to save energy in their daily activities. And yeah, of course, small adjustments like temperatures or lighting conditions can already make a difference. Furthermore, I would say that the implementation of energy management systems to provide data for informed decisions is the way to move forward. This way, we monitor energy usage while tracking improvements. And I also believe this is also the motivation for lab members to find and implement new energy saving techniques.
Yeah. What do you say are the most common hurdles for the lab to implement these ways and actions of energy reduction? Is it people, time, budget, knowledge, anything else?
This is a complex question. Actually, implementing energy reduction solution in research labs or any other facility can certainly encounter several hurdles. Most of the ones you mentioned, actually. The first one, in my opinion, is the lack of awareness. Many companies are not aware about the potential of energy savings and environmental benefits of implementing these energy efficient solutions. In general, yeah, there will always be technical, regulatory, and compliance aspects to consider, and as labs must adhere to specific safety standards. Yeah, it can limit actually the application of changes that can be made in the lab. Also, financial constraints is sometimes a barrier. And finally, I would say cultural mindset, as energy efficiency might not be the priority number one compared to other research needs. So yeah, there are many of them, but I would highlight those.
Okay, very good. Yeah, like I think awareness is really the first step if you want to implement change in a lab. So, okay, thank you very much, Daniel, for your time. It was really great to have your insights on this question and this topic. And I think we have plenty of material here and good example. So thank you.
Thank you, Florian.